Hello and welcome to the Abandoned Beers Podcast. It's the only podcast that matches your favorite bands with our favorite beers. Allow me to reintroduce myself. My name is Pat Zap, P Tita Izzy, you know the rest. And I'm here with my two best buddies. He's a disaster, a microphone master. He puts on the tape and rock a ghetto blaster. He's Dan McHenry. Dan, say hi to the people.
Hey, how's everybody doing tonight?
And you know we couldn't be doing it without this other guy. Oh, Dusty, won't you rhyme for me one time? To the pimps and the hoes, to the kids in the front row. Come on, guys, you know the words. Oh, Dusty, won't you rhyme for me one time? It's Dusty Swartz.
Yeah, hit that snare. You know, Pat, I should be over all the butterflies, but I'm still into you, buddy.
Hey, I think we're just about ready to get rocking and rolling and cracking and drinking. It's the Abandoned Beers Podcast. I forget the number we're on, but Danny, for the new folks just listening for the first time, explain this crazy thing we're doing.
All right, so each week we select a band, and each member of the podcast picks a beer that they think best represents that band. And this band, generally, we try to make it a band that is one of our favorites, or we have some kind of connection to it. So, we get to enjoy the taste test of the beers, and we get to debate which beer best represents the band. So we're looking forward to this episode today.
Yeah, I'm really excited about this one. I got to throw out the band for this one. This is going to be Paramore we're doing today. And I think, we got a little extra time to listen to this one, and I went around the horn with it, and I'm even more happy with my choice. So Paramore, to me, is a band, I think, what do you guys think? Is this like the first really like female-led like pop-punk band that we were all listening to, let's say like back yonder 20 years ago?
I'd say give or take. I mean, I was listening to Paramore, Zoloft, the Rock and Roll Destroyer.
Zoloft was like definitely very local. Yeah,
it's
that's
very
for sure.
local, but another blonde-haired, female with heavenly vocals that I really dug.
Yeah, that's true. So
My early musical inspirations were of the Rob Zombie, Kid Rock variety, so it was a real boys club in my music shuffle.
You had the long hair going, at least.
Yeah, sure did.
You and Hayley at least had like something simpatico there, yeah.
Yeah. Bad haircuts. We shared them. Guys, we're so grateful for all the fans that tune in and listen to this podcast. And I'm probably number one fan.
Yeah, I mean, I can see you listening over and over again.
I listen to these things quite a bit. I've consumed these podcasts the most. And as much as it pains me, I got to give credit to Dusty before we start.
Hey.
All right. Dusty.
Okay, hey, I don't know what's happening here.
Our most recent episode, or the episode previous to this, was A Day to Remember.
Yes.
Yeah, that's right.
But the episode before that, I selected A Day to Remember.
Mm-hmm.
And this guy, Dusty to my right here, called his shot in the final moments of the podcast. I'm rambling on about what band I'm going to pick, talking about how the season in the dark, and he's going, ooh, what are you thinking, Pat? Something dark and creamy, a stout, maybe a peanut butter stout. You picked your beer that won the band in the episode before we recorded it. You son of a bitch!
You gave me all the notes, and I just kind of synthesized them together. That's what I do. I do top notes, guys.
Nostradustus over there, huh?
Unbelievable.
Well, we can try to do it again. I can see how long I can keep this up.
Yeah. Well, that was a fun podcast, but this one will be a fun podcast because we're talking about Paramore.
Yes.
Yeah,
we love Paramore and we love beer. And Dusty, you got a beer you're about to bring up?
Yeah, I do. And I think my beer sis is off the charts this year.
Your beer hypothesis.
My beer thesis, yeah. So I have a two-pronged approach on this one. One, I picked my brewery, and then I chose a beer. So with Paramore, to me, they are...
I'm all choked up already.
I know.
Yeah, wow, look at them.
I have a lot to say
tearing
about
up.
this. Throughout their catalog, throughout their history, I think they grew a lot, and I think you could hear that very well in their discography. And I think, but everything they did was definitely identifiable as them. Even as like their sound slightly changed, you can always still kind of get that Riot, that Misery Business. Like you can still hear it throughout all their songs. So to me, I went with Cape May Brewery. they have a lot of different beers, a lot of different selections. They've been trying lots of things out, but everything still tastes like it's from Cape May, and it's all good. Maybe it's not all your favorite stuff, but it's all really good beer. And then I went for Coastal Evacuation for this one.
Ooh, that's a good one.
Yeah, this is
Oh.
a seltzer.
Yeah, that was a seltzer, non-alcoholic.
There you
But I'll go for the Coastal Evacuation instead.
Yeah, there it is.
A double IPA, India Pale Ale with big, bold blend of hops.
Yeah, so this is definitely speaking to the band themselves, right? Like, and I think specifically their front, their singer Hayley Williams. Like, she is full of energy. She has been like going through and like kind of putting all of herself into this music. She speaks a lot from her soul, and I think she like tries to put a lot of emotion out into all of her songs. And you can really you can hear there's stories and things that go along with her. But all of her music, it's like for being an optimist, who I'm pretty pessimistic, you can hear all that kind of stuff through it. And I think this Coastal Evacuation definitely embodies that the most.
All right, here we go. Let's open up.
Well, I think one of the biggest challenges this podcast will be is hopefully I think we set out to answer the age-old question that plagues this band. Is Paramore a band?
Oh, that's a
Is
good
it
question.
or is it just Hayley?
Yeah. Well, first off, this tastes great.
Oh, it's great beer.
It's all right.
The profile from Cape May is it's a phrase that's everywhere at the Jersey Shore. Coastal Evacuation. This West Coast style double IPA is as big and bold as a hurricane season itself, with a Centennial Forward brazen blend of hops, serving up hints of orange citrus and honeydew melon. I'm getting the melon.
I'm getting melon, yeah.
If it's time to evacuate, are you prepared? I'm prepared to listen to little Paramore as I go on a little road trip out from the Jersey Shore back home.
See, I was thinking I would want to hunker down during a hurricane with this beer. Because obviously, Coastal Evacuation, you're supposed to evacuate, but I want to just hunker down, get into a nice, bunker and just enjoy this beer. I've been a fan of this for, pretty much since the inception of Cape May Brewing
Cape May
Company.
Brewery, yeah. Back when you couldn't get it anywhere but the brewery.
You had the literal, I would, if anybody was going down the shore for the weekend, I'd be like, you got to bring me back a 6-pack.
Yeah, I remember I've done this for you. Yeah, I have.
You've made the beer run for me before.
Yeah, I love this beer. I really went through a few different beers they were making when I was trying to decide this. Like, they have Always Ready, just have their regular IPA, but I wanted something that was really big and bold and kind of stuck out.
Best served in a pint glass, best paired with a chicken leg, a beach chair, and a hot dog.
8% volume, bro. So everyone, don't drink this while you're driving away from the hurricane. Like Dan said, hunker down and just enjoy it.
Yes,
Evacuate and then drink.
Yeah, it's a heck of a beer.
So going back to what Pat said about the age-old question, is Paramore a band?
The fan base really is adamant about declaring Paramore as a band, which leads me to believe, if you have to say it so often,
that's a problem.
maybe they're not.
Well, let me delve into the Wikipedia description of Paramore here. So, Paramore is an American rock band from Franklin, Tennessee. They were formed in 2004. The band currently consists of lead vocalist Hayley Williams, who we've mentioned multiple times, guitarist Taylor York, who is her current boyfriend, and drummer Zach Farrow, who was one of the original founding members of the band.
And I got a lot of opinions of who was in this band and who's not in this band.
Yes.
Huh.
So Williams and Farrow are founding members, while York is a high school friend of the original lineup, and he joined the band back in 2007. The band is signed to Fueled by Ramen, which is a subsidiary of Atlantic Records, and they're both owned by Warner Music Group. Hayley Williams was separately signed to Atlantic as she was scouted when she was a teenager, and they were the only label to let her stay in the band instead of going solo.
So she had a deal first. She was going to be like
she had the deal
a
first.
solo artist.
And the band was not allowed to sign on to that deal. They had to get their own separate deal.
But she liked jamming with the boys. She wanted to be a part of a group.
That's correct. So they've had 5 studio albums come out altogether, and she is the only member to appear on all 5, which is logical because her vocals, her voice is Paramore.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah. You know, it's interesting when you're looking at like all their albums, like even who it's accredited to, it changes throughout. Like it was like at one point it was just like Paramore, but then eventually it does just become Hayley Williams. It's like, oh, this song by Hayley Williams.
Well, I think the bigger issue is that the first 3 records are Paramore, you know, a 5-person group, and then the self-titled album Paramore is just the 3 of them.
Yeah.
And I'm going, hey, I've been a fan for a long time. I know there's more than 3 of you in this band.
Well, the original lineup consisted of it was Hayley Williams, it was Zach Farrow on drums, his brother Josh Farrow on guitar, and Jeremy Davis on bass. Eventually, they had a Jason Bynum join the band on rhythm guitar, but he quickly left the band. So for a while, for a while, it was like a 4 or 5 member band that that was the nucleus of the band, and then things eventually started to there were probably some jealousy. There was some issues with.
I don't know if it's true or not, but I thought it was like a religion thing.
Could be a religion thing too. I think they initially were kind of like a quasi-Christian, like punk, pop punk type band. So, and they're coming from Tennessee, so there's a good chance they were involved in some
Bible
kind of
Belt
evangelical type, movement. So.
Yeah, but they were also like skinny jean wearing,
Yeah.
shaggy haired.
Oh yeah, they came in
Twerps.
the wave of like pop punk and emo. Like that was.
And I think cutting the rhythm guitar works for them too. They're better having that like 3-piece kind of ensemble.
Well, I mean, they're the original members, but when you're playing a live show, you're definitely gonna have like
The sound
touring
totally
members.
changes when they go.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's for sure.
Because I actually just recently saw them. I think they performed live on Jimmy Fallon, and they had a full ensemble band. But theoretically, there's only 3 members in the band right now. But
Right.
because of the full ensemble, it sounded amazing. So, and I'll give a shout out to my daughter May. She loves Paramore because of all the listening that I've been doing prepping for this episode. So.
What's her favorite song?
That's a tough one. I'll have to go back to her on that one. She's,
Wake her up.
yeah, exactly. We'll wake her up. It's past her bedtime, but this is important stuff. We need to get.
That's
that
cool.
from her,
I
so.
like that she's gravitating towards that female lead singer band.
Oh yeah,
I think that's cool.
There's a lot of arguments in our family of she wants all the female singers and Hogan wants all the boy singers, and it's never ending. Twins. That's what happens.
That's cool. Well, even in my house, I got a little girl who only likes female superheroes, which I'm also down with. Ghost Spider is all over the place.
Yo, Ghost Spider rocks.
Yeah.
Gwen Stacy.
Gwen Stacy, big up.
Big ups.
Yeah. So genres that were listed on the Wikipedia.
Can I give a hot take before you do this?
Hot take.
Hot take.
Hot take. Bring it.
They're not pop punk.
They're not pop punk. All right. That was the number 2 genre that was listed. Alternative rock, pop punk, punk rock, power pop, emo, and then new wave was thrown in there, which anything outside of the 80s cannot, I don't think, can get the new wave.
That's a fair line to draw.
Yeah.
But I started thinking about this, and what I kept going back to was No Doubt is not a pop punk band.
I would think that's correct.
I think this Paramore group has more in common with the band No Doubt than they do with, say, some of the pop punk bands that we've discussed on this podcast.
Now, is that just because of the lead singer both lead singers being female?
So I think the female lead singer might lead you to go down this road of like, oh, they're not fully punk or whatever, and you have to like give it some sort of deviation. But I think the kids, this isn't like a gatekeeping thing. Like I'm not trying to keep punk rock elite or whatever those scene kids talk about. Yeah. I just think that the kids in the band are punks. They're skinny, jean, bright shirt, shaggy haired kids.
Yeah.
But the music they're playing isn't necessarily punk. I don't think it ever it flirts with the punk line, but I don't think they ever fully cross into it. It's poppy, it's energetic, it's young, It's got a great sound, but nothing about it to me screams like, oh, we're firmly in the punk genre. The alternative rock, the power pop, I think those distinctions better color it than pop punk. I think that's too blanketed.
I think where the punk comes in is the power chords that they're playing, on guitar. There's a lot, it's the standard 4-chord, that's punk.
That might be true.
Yeah, so that's where I think that the pop punk, is a better fit for the band.
Yeah, and I think it's maybe because you have a female lead singer, even though her voice isn't like super sweet, it's like it's harmonic and all. Maybe like it just like kind of takes it out of some of that punk era where you get a little discordant. She still does that, especially live. You're watching those live albums, like and those live songs and videos online. She doesn't sing like she does on the albums live. Like there's a lot more like kind of like pitchiness, and like she tries. I think she's actually trying to have much more of that punk attitude.
I don't know if this podcast is going to be a discussion about our internal misogyny.
Well, it can be.
So I'm being very careful not to dole out any criticisms that I wouldn't to any other band that
For sure.
Definitely.
But if I can just get this out of the way,
That being said,
right up at the beginning, Hayley Williams has it.
oh, she's a rock star.
You cannot buy it. You can't manufacture it. You cannot learn it. You either have it or you don't. And this girl is dripping in it. She is a fantastic front person for any group. She's not the greatest singer in the world.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, she's not the most. She's beautiful. She's not the most stunning person that's ever existed. But
Yeah.
everything she does, it just works somehow, and that's the true definition, I think, of it. The way you can just do anything and you make it work somehow. I think she's a total star.
Yeah. I think I honestly that's part of why I was even choosing this beer that I did. It was I wanted like something that was like kind of like their flag. What is that flag? Flag.
The flagship is the one in the
Flagship
front.
is the one I wanted.
Flagship,
Yeah, I was
alright.
like planning my
Flag
flag.
note.
Oh my god. Anyway,
That's a music thing. You're the music guy over there.
yeah. So yeah, like she does have it right. Like I was trying to think. I was like, is she just like how top tier is she in like rock front people, like front men? What you would call it. Like she is great. I think she's absolutely a rock star, especially when you're watching her like perform. She's like she really does have it. Like you said.
Your eyes gravitate towards her. So she's got the stage persona. When you want that in your lead singer, you want the eyes of the audience to be glued to her and what she's doing on stage.
Which leads me to think Paramore is not a band. Paramore is Hayley Williams.
Yeah. Well,
band.
she was signed to that solo contract initially because she had it, like you said.
She could probably bring anybody with her if this was she started a new Paramore today, Paramore 2, and threw in a bunch of guitarists or a drummer, whatever, like they'd probably be just fine.
Oh, definitely.
Right. But I mean, I'm, a purist in that I think Paramore is those first 3 albums, and then Paramore 2 starts from the Paramore.
You hear it in the music, and I think we can talk about that during our next segment.
And don't get me wrong, I'm a fan. I like the original Paramore. I like the new Paramore. I think it's great.
Yeah, I love how they actually grew. It's like some of their later stuff, it's a little bit different, but it still gets me. That's when we do our happy hour songs by draft, I might dabble into that later stuff.
Not the first 2 rounds, I'll tell you that much. All right, I'm good.
All right, so we'll take a quick break, and we'll be back with our second beer. All right, guys, we're back for our second beer.
Dan.
Yes.
Can you feel the pressure?
It's getting closer now.
Yeah.
I'm horrible with lyrics, so I'm amazed that I remembered those. So
Good job.
all right.
I didn't remember. I knew it was that. I knew it was a Paramore song.
Yeah,
Yep.
that was from the first album, which I love. For my beer, I went hair color.
Son of a gun.
I told you not to do it.
He told me not to do it, but I couldn't help it. I went to that candy store that's known as Total Wine down in Delaware, which has all kinds of beers to choose from. I would love to get a sponsorship from them. I want to get a job there. I was actually there tonight with Jackie, and I was like, "This is the greatest place in the world. Like, I want to work here."
That store is so crazy.
It
Because you
is.
walk around and you go, oh, it's only wine and alcohol. And then you realize there's a whole other side of the store.
Yes. And everybody that works there is really nice and wants to give you like suggestions on what to drink, and I love that. So, I went with a beer called Mango Jams.
Mango jams.
This is
This
a
is brand new to me.
yeah, it was new to me too. I saw it on the shelf and I said this screams Hayley Williams. This is from Brick City Brewing. That's BRIX City Brewing, which apparently I don't have a town. Looks like they're Little Ferry, New Jersey. Is where they're from. This is a double IPA, another double IPA. So we're gonna have to be careful driving home tonight. It's brewed with lactose and double dry hopped with Citra and Mosaic, conditioned on mango puree and vanilla.
Oh, that sounds like a little bit of a Tired Hands milkshake kind of blend.
Yeah, so I'm excited about this one. It's a tall boy. This is a pint can here. Here we go.
Oh boy.
I'm a little confused because Hayley Williams notoriously has blue hair.
Blue
This
hair.
is
I
a
would,
mango.
no.
This is
I-
a mango flavored.
I think of her as having like reddish orange hair.
Living in the past, McHenry.
Well, that is smooth. You get a lot of that vanilla in there. That is a ton of vanilla.
Wow. Yeah, a lot of vanilla. I'm getting the mango. The vanilla is overpowering what mango that I can taste, but I definitely am picking up a mango puree as well.
I'm getting a lot of mango, and I am worried this is a hangover beer. That first sip is really
Ooh.
sweet.
It's very sweet.
Yeah.
You think that'll hit you hard the
I
next
think
day?
I'm gonna feel this tomorrow. For
This
sure.
is
I'm
also
sorry.
one of those deals where it's like obviously just an aluminum can that they slapped a sticker on.
Yeah, I
Oh,
like
yeah.
that.
Yeah.
It saves
Yeah,
cost.
canning's expensive.
It's a good
apparently.
Yeah, it's not easy to do.
Pat, any thoughts on your
Yeah, I haven't been
any
doing
of
it
the
for hundreds of
flavors,
years. No.
Flavors that you're picking up?
I'm really enjoying it.
Oh, look at this.
It's actually nice. It's I'm gonna get one more, just one more big one.
It is smooth on the tongue too, which I like. That's a good mouthfeel.
Yeah, for a double IPA, it doesn't bite hard
yeah,
at
it's
all.
not biting hard at all
Yeah,
compared
like
to
Mosaic. Like normally, you really do get the taste that you get the bitterness on like the sides of your tongue. You know, although I think that is not real, right? Like the sections of your tongue with the different taste buds, like that's not a real thing.
Well, if you use more than 10% of your brain, you might be able to understand.
Well, that's also I think
So this is I'm being brought back to my dislike of citrus IPAs, and it's starting to creep back up.
Oh,
on
is
me.
it-
I thought the vanilla was going to get me across the.
Oh really?
Yeah, across the.
So
finish
you don't
line.
even like it? I'm getting the
It's-
sourness now.
Here's the I didn't get a chance to taste test this ahead of time, so I really should probably drink one of my beers.
Well, it came up on you so quick. So
I know, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. I had plenty of time to try it out, and I didn't. So, but yeah, at first it was good, and it's starting to wear on me a little bit. I'm gonna continue to take swigs while we're working on this segment here. We can talk about the discography of Paramore now.
Yeah, please do.
let's do it. Yeah.
So their first album, this was my introduction to Paramore, was the album All We Know Is Falling. That came out in 2005. I think I found them on. I used to buy all my CDs off of a website called Interpunk. And
Oh,
would
yeah, I
send
remember
you
Interpunk.
yeah, they would send you suggestions on bands you would like, and I'm pretty sure it came up there, and that's when I really started listening to them. Loved this first album.
yeah.
Wanted to see them live, but at the time I didn't have any friends in the area. I think you guys were. I didn't know if Pat listened to Paramore, and I think Dusty, you were away at college in 2005.
That's right. Yeah, freshman year.
So I didn't have anybody that was going to go to a concert with me, and I remember to this day that I like posted something on Craigslist on like a like the dating portion of it to see if someone was interested in going on a first date with me to see Paramore, and I did not get any responses.
I can't believe
Yeah.
that. That's who wouldn't jump at that.
Exactly. So
I'm
that
gonna
was
post a
my first.
misconnection about
That was
that
my
right now.
first experience with Paramore. Was heartbreak. Partly I was in love with Hayley Williams, and
Mm-hmm.
I did not get a response to my attempt at getting an online date on Craigslist.
This album is great. The songs are great.
Yeah.
If they are in the punk genre, this is their punkiest stuff.
100%.
I would say Emergency was probably my favorite song off
Emergency's
of that album.
great.
Yeah, it's a great song.
Here we go again.
All We Know.
Yeah.
Conspiracy. It's great. Great album.
Great album. Second album is really when they broke through into the
Yeah.
mainstream. The album was called Riot.
Riot was a giant hit.
We've got Misery Business. For a pessimist, I'm pretty optimistic. That's a mouthful. What else we got?
Hallelujah's on there.
Hallelujah. That's What You Get.
Mhm.
Born for This.
That's What You Get is probably the poppiest of the bunch.
Definitely.
Yeah.
So this is when I'm pretty sure MTV was still playing music videos at this point, or maybe MTV2 at this point. But this was when they were becoming exposed to mainstream and really building up their fan base.
Or maybe it was MTV Woody at the time, Pat. What do you think?
MTVU, I think it was. What it
Yeah,
was
the
called.
U, yeah, and they had the Woody
The
Awards.
award ceremony was called the Woodies,
Yeah.
if I'm not mistaken. We may have gone to one or two of those.
So, would you guys say I worked for MTV? You know I didn't, but
You were contracted out by
You were
MTV, so
contracted
yes,
out
you
say I
did.
worked for
Yes.
MTV as a catch-all for what
Yes.
I did.
It is accurate, yeah.
And when I worked for MTV, I lived in New York City with Dusty and his sister. We all shared an apartment in Astoria, Queens. And my first day on the job was in the MTV studios, in the TRL studio. I stood in the same spot where Carson Daly hosted a 5-day show.
Were you like a stand-in for him?
The show was ending
Ah,
the year that I went there, but I looked out of the windows that the Backstreet Boys waved and caused New York City traffic to go completely haywire. It was a show for making the band. But one of the things we did was we did audience coordination for the MTV University, a channel that college universities got, MTVU.
Oh, yeah.
They did an award show called the Woody Awards because before you go platinum, before you go gold, you go wood. So new bands that were breaking.
Yeah. Yeah, it was like the hip indie college band.
And I'll
kind
let
of
you
award
take
show.
the rest of this story.
Yeah, so, Pat was working for that audience coordination. They needed some folks to kind of, make it look like a hip, fun party. So we were in there. We were in that crowd for that MTVU Woody Awards. This is 2008, right in, I would say, mid-November maybe, because the Phillies had just won the World Series. I was getting a lot of grief because I was flipping my Phillies hat into the line of sight of every single camera. But yeah, there was a lot of really cool different presenters. Like Zooey Deschanel was there. We got to see her.
oh, I love her.
Yeah.
The show was hosted by
Who was the host?
Donald Glover, Childish Gambino
yeah.
himself.
Yeah, there was a lot of good acts too. Like a lot of folks. Like
All-time low played.
Yeah, and we got to hang out with them afterwards. That was really cool. But one of the presenters, I think, along with I forget who she co-presented with, was Hayley Williams.
Oh, amazing.
So we were
That's
at
amazing.
all of 5 feet away, and she maintained great eye contact on that camera, despite what we were yelling at her. It was excellent.
You did ask her to go out on a date, I think.
Oh, for sure. I was like, Haley, do you want to play skee ball? I thought it was really charming.
That would be a great date. Why?
Yeah, I think she
should've
would.
taken you up on
I was
that.
like, wow, is she not looking over at this? Like, she should say yes.
I can only imagine the things that poor girl has had yelled at her.
Oh, I was at least I stuck it to skee ball.
The next album?
I was just making sure. Okay. Yeah. Next album was Brand New Eyes in 2009. Some of the songs that came about from that. Actually, you know what? Before we talk about that album, I want to talk about a song that was in between there, in between those two albums that was a single on the Twilight soundtrack.
Oh, yeah, I saw
Decode?
that. Yeah.
Oh, Dakota's
I-
on the live album, too.
Is
Yeah.
it?
Yeah.
Yeah. It was on the Twilight soundtrack. The music video was like her in like a snow-filled forest.
Yeah,
and-
Dakota's awesome.
Yeah, amazing song. Love that song. So I wanted to touch base on that, and it didn't make it onto one of their 5 studio albums. But going back to Brand New Eyes, you've got Ignorance, Feeling Sorry, which kind of That reminded me of like a Newfound Glory or like a Starting Line type song whenever I listen to it. Another great album. This is the third of the 3 albums that I know, Pat. You consider that's Paramore classic, I guess maybe you would say.
Yeah, and this album is I like the 2 previous albums better as albums, but I also really like the songs on this album. I don't think from top to bottom, Brand New Eyes is a great one, but Playing God, Brick by Boring Brick, and Feeling Sorry are like all like bangers, total bangers.
Yeah, I love some of those songs right there.
And especially since in some of the lyrics, you can see that, there is turmoil in the group.
Mm-hmm.
And, there was like, I can't believe we almost, remembering lyrics is not my strong point either.
Can't believe we almost broke up, right?
Essentially, yeah.
Yeah. And she was talking about the band, it sounded like in that.
And we're not ready yet. We're just getting started. So
yeah. And
if only that were true.
Yeah.
Well, I guess she waited for her.
Yeah. After that album in 2010, that's when the brothers Farrow, Josh and Zach, both left the band. So that's when the sound of the band also seemed to change as well, according to the way we look at these albums, because in 2013 is when the self-titled Paramore album came out. And
I just think that's a shitty thing to do.
What's that? Leave the band or change your sound or?
No. If you're not happy, absolutely leave the band. You feel like going in a new direction, absolutely go in a new direction. But don't name your album
Paramore. Yeah.
After your 2 founding guys leave the band. Go like, you were never Paramore, we're Paramore. You never had a record contract. You were never in the band. You're not the band. We're the band. I think it's a bad look.
And that's kind of Josh Farrow had claimed at the time that the band was quote unquote a manufactured product of a major label, and he accused Hayley of being manipulated by her management and treating the rest of the band as her solo project. So that's to come back and name the next album Paramore, it was, like you said, an interesting concept. So,
but also my good personal friend Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson might say, know your role and shut your mouth.
There you go.
You realize you got a good thing when you have it. Obviously.
When people leave bands, I always, the money's probably good, but in a big band like this, but you might not be happy with what you're doing. So, he had his own, he had his own reasons. So, anyway, the self-titled Paramore album, songs that stood out to me were, Ain't It Fun and Still Into You. They're catchy.
Yeah, Still Into You is one of their biggest songs. Yeah, I would say.
They're more poppy type songs at this point. This kind of seems where it to me, it seemed like their music started to become a little more overproduced, and it was made for mainstream and pop radio, if pop radio still exists at this point.
Well, it's obviously less full. You can really tell that whatever it's missing. If you didn't know what was missing, you'd say something was missing. Interlude, moving on, track 5, is a pretty good window into Hayley's view of the events that took place.
Definitely.
Yeah, a pretty telling song, but Still in You is great. Ain't Fun is great. This is I don't know if you guys got into the music videos of the band.
For sure.
But this is when the videos went from the band, the 5 people in the group playing music, maybe that became passé, and the videos just become sort of like more visual storytelling efforts with just 3 people.
Ah. All right, so 2017, their 5th album came out, After Laughter. I wasn't really a fan.
Hard Times.
Yeah, Hard Times. I don't think that song at all.
This album is interesting to me. It came out in 2017, right? Like as you were saying, it's the same year as Newfound Glory's album, "Make Me Sick," and it sounds exactly the same. It sounds like they could be compatible albums.
Oh, you're crazy.
No, they both have like this kind of Caribbean riffs to them. It feels like they both could have like steel drums. They do have like the same vibe? And was this a thing that was just happening in music at the time?
Well, Hayley Williams was married to Chad Gilbert, the guitarist of Newfound Glory.
Chad Ball, yeah.
Yeah, and she did a guest appearance on one of their songs.
Right.
I'm curious as to whether they were still married at that point. I know currently they are divorced. So.
Oh,
That's right.
Haley's got a bone to pick with old Chad Ball.
Yeah, so that is a curious, or an interesting, concept that you have that both albums sound the same. Maybe they were working in the same studio or studios next to each other, or what have you. Like
released the same year, like I think, and the same kind of things with both albums too, where it's like these aren't their best albums. Not good, but I think there's like some redeeming moments, and if you listen to them enough, like if you just like take a month to listen to Paramore over and over again, you do start to have some that you like, and I think they start to grow on you a little bit.
Yeah, well, I'd never say this was my favorite album by any stretch, but I think I did enjoy it. It's got a lot. It's like disco-y with like dance beats and breaks, and
I could see that.
Hard Times was one I really enjoyed, and Fake Happy has a
I don't know. I had a hard time listening to this album personally.
pretty neat video on that one, and Grudges I thought was good too. I liked a lot of this.
I even like Hard Times. It's like I feel like that's a fun little beat to it. Hard Times. I'm into it.
I couldn't get into it. But this year, about a month or two ago, they came back and released a new song for an upcoming album that's going to be coming out in February 2023. This Is Why. Is the name of the
It's a
song.
great stay inside anthem.
It is. It's a. I still listen to terrestrial radio. My truck has an old school radio, so it gets a lot. This song gets a lot of play on Alt 104.5 right now in the Philadelphia area.
It does. That's cool.
It does. I love this song. I've been listening to it a lot.
I like it. I don't
the
love
way
it
it starts out. It kind of reminds me of like an indie indie type song. It's definitely not pop punk or punk anything along those lines. And then it just kind of the chorus just kind of allows Hayley to just kind of jump in with her vocals and with the rest of the band singing as well. It's not just her being the lead singer. It's more like group vocals for the chorus of the song. And I found that to be interesting and different. And it's a catchy song, and I'm really enjoying it. So I'm looking forward to the new album.
Yeah, me too. I can't wait.
I don't want to beat a dead horse, but do you guys know Pedals for Armor?
What is that?
2020, Hayley Williams released a solo project
Oh.
called Pedals for Armor,
I don't know.
I
about
had
this.
not heard of that.
and it's actually very good.
Oh, I can't. I would have.
Would you say is there a specific band it sounds like?
No,
Oh, okay. I was curious if it sounded like Paramore or not.
there are obviously
Obviously, vocally, yes, it does.
there are more elements to it, but I mentioned the song "Dead Horse" is really a almost a tell-all of her relationship with Chad.
Oh,
She
really?
was not happy,
Oh, I can imagine. It's funny. Like,
but it sounds good. It's a good. It's an interesting listen.
it's funny hearing songs like and just seeing songs where were probably written about Chad, like "Still Into You," that kind of thing. And like hearing her.
And then something like "Fake Happy" is probably that way too.
Exactly, yeah. And seeing her perform them live, probably post all of this, trauma in her life, you can tell that like not a song she enjoys singing, although it's one of her most popular songs, so she has to sing it. I thought that was really interesting. I was like kind of doing a deep dive onto the YouTube, finding all these different live albums or like takes, performances of like "Still Into You," and like she does not like to sing the song. It seems like she does a lot of the crowd work. She's not going into like the harmonies hard. Like she does not want to sing it.
Well, if we're going to talk about songs that
Playing songs live or not playing them live.
the controversy of Misery Business.
Yeah, in 2018, she announced during a concert that the band would be retiring the song because of a line from the second verse that was perceived to be sexist. And then that was 2018, and then about a month or two ago.
And good for her.
Yeah,
I think it was nice for her to acknowledge these crybaby pussies' plea that,
she was woke for a second, and then it was brought it back because it's a great song.
and she learned a lesson.
Yeah.
So it's funny. She even like changed some lyrics on some other songs though. Like she called him by the lips is a recent update I've heard too. Like listening to some of her live stuff, I was like that's not the words. I very distinctly know she called him by the cock.
So you've been going to a lot of Paramore shows recently?
No, I haven't been to a Paramount show ever. In fact, which is a really weird miss. You would have thought that we would have went to this this band.
I've never seen them either, but they announced a new tour.
Oh.
I'm into it, and seeing all these live videos, like I want to go see them live now.
I really hate being around people lately, but I'd really like to see this band play.
We can get some nice seats, like maybe some balcony, just like look down on the people.
That might be the only way we can afford it, possibly. I don't know what the way what the way ticket prices are these days.
Because after all these years, still into them.
To you or them,
Paramore.
yes.
All right, I'm good.
All right, we're gonna take a break and we're gonna come back with Pat's beer.
Oh, I can't wait. Thirsty.
You guys, even though Logan Paul did not defeat Roman Reigns in Saudi Arabia, he still had a hell of a match. But anyway, what I really wanted to talk to you was my beer that I picked for Paramore, because I had a beer in mind.
Mm-hmm.
I had a lunch with our good friend, Mikey Lieberman. And I met his baby.
When?
And he was in town from New York. He was in Philly. We met up.
Hot son of a gun.
We got together.
Did he ask for a shout out today?
No. And I
It
had
was the weekend of my anniversary, right?
I don't know when your anniversary is. But hard times. Couldn't get that one together. But I did find this. And when I think of Paramore,
Mm-hmm.
I just think of what the Cornetto boys like to call a slice of fried gold. It's a good thing made even better. And when I found this beer that is called Fried Ice Cream Stout, my heart lit up. Because this band, for me, is just a big bowl of ice cream that everybody loves, but then just deep fried to make it 10 times better. So
crispy.
what I want you to do is pop these open, take a swig.
Ooh, boy, here comes another sweet heart attack. Right here.
Because this thing hits pretty hard. It's an Imperial Stout.
Whoa, that
And,
tastes weird.
Fried ice cream flavors together.
What is this?
It's a stout that provides ample aromas of roasted malt and vanilla, then paired with real vanilla ice cream and flavored with cinnamon and dark chocolate to produce a truly unique treat.
Oh, this is unique.
And this is
I
from,
thought this was
Flying
like,
Fish Brewing Company
Yeah, the
in New
Flying
Jersey.
Fish Brewing Co. And my beer hypothesis on this one is that, too much of a good thing, as they say.
yeah.
You can't have fried ice cream every day and not have some complications. So
Poops.
Paramore was fried ice cream, and it just became unstable and fell apart, but that doesn't stop us from enjoying a fried bowl of ice cream every now and then.
Wait, has anybody ever had fried ice cream?
I haven't, no. I don't
I
think
haven't
so.
either, but it sounds amazing.
Actually, I might take that back. I think I think there's a chance. I go to a lot of fairs.
Yeah, the
guys.
fair is deep fried pretty much everything.
Yeah. So at the same time that I was shopping for my mango beer, I also came upon the fried ice cream stout on the shelves, and I bought myself a 4-pack of it, and I broke into it last night.
Spoiler alert.
Yes. So it was my Thursday night is my Friday night when I have off the next day. So I indulged myself with a beer. I got very excited. I showed off the beer to my wife, and then I looked at the description and I saw Imperial Stout, and I said, "Uh-oh."
Yeah.
Because I love stouts. I love ice cream. I love sweets, and this was like all up my alley. But I know Imperial Stouts have like a very alcohol kind of kick to them, and they definitely are.
Jeez, boys.
10.3.
Yeah,
This thing
10.3%.
packs a punch.
Yes, and so as the night went on, as I was drinking my my fried ice cream stout, I was feeling my oats. So it was a fun Thursday night. Well, so
Did you have off today for Veterans Day?
I had off today, not for Veterans Day. Just I have every other Friday off. So But we appreciate all the veterans out there. Thank you very much.
Yeah, before I got here, I tried this one, and my alternate pick was a Screamsicle.
Oh yeah,
Ooh.
I've had that before.
So I'm seeing 4 of you boys right now.
There you go. He's
I'm a little
feeling
bummed.
feeling great.
Guys-
And he's also wearing a hoodie that is a glass of beer.
Yeah,
There's foam up on his shoulders, and then there's all kinds of bubbles.
It's called
Uh,
fashion.
It's
Look it
called
up
fashion.
sometime.
Yeah,
this beer tastes like cotton candy to me. This is crazy. This is
tastes like cotton candy, really.
Come
Yeah,
on,
I'm
tell
gonna-
me
I'm
that a beer that tastes like cotton candy isn't Paramore. Look at my face and say it.
I
See,
mean,
I'm-
it's a stout. I mean, like, I thank God it's a stout actually, because I think it's maybe giving it like sort of like a blank page. You know, that tabula rosa of
Oh, wow.
where we are for the flavors of this. Like, because they must actually do use real ice cream in it, because like this is like a milkshake, right? But it's like candy sweet.
It's a dessert beer is the way I would describe it. There's certain beers that I will purchase that are either chocolate flavored or anything cinnamon. I'll usually purchase, and I will have that after a nice good meal. I'll get out one of my dessert beers and just indulge that.
My favorite one is actually another Cape May. Ties the room together. It's another stout with but it has like a lot of spices in it. I think you would love it, Dan. You should check it out.
I will check that out. But this is definitely a dessert beer to me. It's nice. I would say Paramore is a dessert band, possibly too. I don't know.
How about that?
Yeah.
Well, you know
Maybe
what
it's an
Paramore absolutely
aperitif, honestly.
is a rock group with a female lead vocal.
Mm-hmm.
Guys, what other bands have female lead vocals that could we rank them?
Can we rank them?
Rank female led bands?
Yeah.
Yeah. All right.
So we have no doubt.
No doubt. Which going back to that, your comment earlier about them being a punk band,
Gwen Stefani,
I would say.
dripping in it.
Here's the thing:
She had the red plaid pants.
they were a ska band.
Yeah, they
initially.
were a ska band.
There
Right?
were
Initially.
there were brass instruments involved initially. So, I would take them more as a ska band, and there was a lot of plaid involved early on too.
Yeah.
And like the white and black like platform type shoes, whatever those were. So yeah, no doubts up there. So like I said, referenced earlier, Zoloft the Rock and Roll Destroyer.
Yeah.
Right.
Well, the Stevie Nicks obviously is gonna
Stevie
have to be
Nicks,
up there.
yeah,
Heart.
Yeah.
Heart, two, sisters leading. You had a lead vocalist and then lead guitarist, and a Nancy Wilson there. She and him, Zoe Deschanel is one of my. That's my my hall pass that I have with my wife. Is if I were to ever
Get out of here, really?
if I were ever to convince Zoe Deschanel.
That would take
I
some
would get-
convincing.
a lot of convincing.
She likes
yes.
really tall guys. So
Yep, tall
Yeah,
guys,
you have
skinny
to build
guys.
a house or something.
Yeah,
Huh.
guys that know.
Can't
houses,
leave them
yeah.
off this list. Hole.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's
Hole.
interesting. Yeah.
I bet.
Did she kill Kurt?
I mean, a lot of people do a lot of things. I mean, you know, judge the art, not the artist.
Okay. Yeah. Who else?
We're probably missing like some of those. The Bengals.
Yeah, we're probably missing a whole bunch that we were just
Yeah.
blanking on. Why can't I?
Yeah, it is weird that we do this in the third
Just a
segment.
little manic Monday. Ooh.
Ooh, the Bengals.
Yeah.
3 beers deep, and then we start
Very
thinking
good,
of
yeah.
bands.
But that's what makes this more interesting.
Wasn't there a Christian rock band that we really liked?
I think you really loved Evanescence.
Ooh, Evanescence.
No.
She was like an operatic singer.
That's
No.
right. Yeah.
Evanescence is my red flag band. If a girl is into Evanescence, that's a huge red flag for me. It's
It's like
turd face, sprint.
Can't do it. She
Evermore or something.
might- Evermore.
Don't you remember these guys? They were like a Christian rock band that had a really just angelic girl singer, but they were like a.
Sounds familiar. I don't remember them though.
I might be off.
There was an indie band called Via Audio that I had found. Another band that I found through Interpunk.
Yeah.
Became obsessed with them. They have a female singer.
Same thing with like Rocking Horse Winter. You loved them.
Yeah,
Female.
I love Rocking Horse Winter.
Yeah.
But
Did you guys
Via
ever
Audio,
hear of Automatic Love Letter?
I don't think so.
No. Via audio, we used to see them. I saw them at the M Room once, if you remember that place on.
I do.
Yeah. It was like 5 people there. It was me and my buddy Marty, and we were like swooning over the lead singer the whole time.
Mm.
And we've seen them multiple times. We saw them in like an abandoned factory in North Philly. We saw them at where else did we see them?
Well, Zoloft and Rock Roller Destroyer came to Interboro High School.
Did they?
Yeah,
That's right.
That's great.
Mark's sister set it up.
Yeah.
Ah, nice.
And she gave me a compliment.
What'd she say?
Nice jacket.
Nice
Oh,
jacket.
that's
What were
really
you
good.
wearing? What kind of jacket?
My brown leather underneath a white hoodie.
Oh yeah, that
So
was your
white
look.
hoodie popping out of the sleeves with the hood up. That was my
Yeah.
look.
So like, there's the Moxie and
Oh, dude, I love Moxie.
yeah. There's one other band that's like the Moxie that I'm trying to think of, and I cannot think of them. And I think we'd all like this band. Sort of has like that sort of like electronic kind of sound to it. Oh god damn it! I'm gonna.
How
So
about the XX? Does anybody remember them?
Yeah, the XS.
Saw
yeah.
them in
I
the church
wouldn't
sanctuary.
any of these guys ahead of Paramore.
No, Paramore is.
I think
is
Paramore's
definitely
won.
standing out. Yeah,
Good for them.
yeah. I'm trying to think.
Paramore
Now
rips.
I want to keep running. Laura Stevenson, I love her. She's a solo act. She was in Bomb the Industry. If you remember that band.
Yeah.
No.
No. I'm actually going to see her and Jeff Rosenstock at the church sanctuary in December. Looking forward to that.
Obviously, Kelly Clarkson.
Kelly
Yeah.
Clarkson solo.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, if we're going solo,
yeah, I mean,
then
we're not
what about Carly Rae Jepsen?
Oh yeah. I mean,
Vanessa Carlson.
Michelle Branch,
Yeah. Avril Lavigne.
Lisa Loeb,
We're getting our category out of the way.
Alanis Morissette.
I was about to say Atlantis. Yeah. Oh, I'm out.
Alanis Morissette's awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah, so we want to. I'm sorry, Dust. You had a new old segment that you wanted to introduce today.
Well, yeah, like I think at the end of the road every single time we think about how this band was, and we want to talk about or pick our favorite song. So this is our happy hour songs by draft. We're going to draft our favorite songs by Paramore and see who comes up with the best 3.
I dig it. The happy hour draft list.
Of course,
So I think I'd say Pat, you go first since
To the-
Dusty lost
to
on our categories of female singers.
oh, all right.
Yeah.
Dude, I'm so happy that I got this first pick because this would have been a three's the charm sort of deal.
I'm going to be really mad if you pick one of mine, honestly.
I got into this band because I saw this young, beautiful girl in a Philadelphia Flyers T-shirt in a music video for Pressure. I have to go with Pressure.
Wow, so she was wearing a Flyers shirt in the video.
Oh, and it's like completely like not a Flyers fan, not a hockey fan,
Yeah.
just happened to be wearing a.
It was ironic. That
Yeah,
she was
yeah,
wearing it
yeah.
At the time. All right, I get second pick then.
That's
I'm
right.
going back to my favorite soundtrack, the Twilight soundtrack. The Code is my favorite Paramore song.
Oh, excellent, excellent. So I'm going to get 2 of my tops here. I'm gonna take "Still Into You." I love that song.
It's a great
real
song.
guilty pleasure for mine, and like it feels that way anyway. I sing that song a lot. If it comes on my shuffle, I am going to be into it. I'm gonna hit back over and over again. So I'm gonna go "Still Into You." And then my next one is "For a Pessimist." I'm pretty optimistic.
Ooh, I'm gonna steal what I assume is one of their most popular songs, "Misery Business."
Yeah.
I'm in a pop punk cover band called the Mouth Breathers right now, and we are covering "Misery Business," and it's been a lot of fun playing this song on bass. So
I'm gonna go with I think the last vestige from the beginning of Paramore to the very end of Paramore. I'm gonna go with "Brick" by Boring Brick.
Ah, god damn it! I was hoping that was gonna be my
I
third.
know that song rips.
I love that song.
all right, Pat, your third song.
Yeah, go again, buddy.
Whoo, man, this is I had the beginning, I had the middle, and then I think I'll end it with the end. Ain't it fun?
Ain't it fun?
Living in the real world.
So I've had a song that I've been listening to on repeat. I mentioned that it gets played a lot on terrestrial radio right now.
Yeah.
The new song, This Is Why. Love it. It's my third pick.
Oh wow, I have a couple left to hear on my list. Like I like the song "Proof." I like "Hallelujah," but I think I'm gonna have to go with "That's What You Get."
Wow.
This is like when I think one of our original songs. Like if we were driving around and this came on in our, we probably had to put it on because we were using CDs, but we were singing a lot of this.
This is a roll down your windows, yelling out the windows
One
at
of their-
anybody that you're driving
One
past.
of their pop
song.
is for sure. Guys, I think we can go round 4. Anybody want a round 4?
Round 4. I got enough songs in the tank.
Yeah, then I'm gonna go with "Hallelujah" actually for my fourth song here. I'm gonna try to keep it. After starting with "Still Into You," I'm trying to like bring up the juice a little
And that's
bit.
the Leonard Cohen cover, right? All right. Hopefully, everybody thought that was a funny joke. So my fourth song, I'm gonna go with "All We Know" from their first album. "All We Know Is Falling." I love that song.
Dang, dude, I was either going to pick that or Emergency, so you kind of made my choice for me, so I'll go Emergency. Man.
Oh, nice.
All right, Dusty, tally us up, please. Who
And,
has songs?
we do not judge who has the best playlist. That is up to you. But I've been killing it with these playlists, even though you guys keep screwing me.
I mean, if I would have gotten Brick by Boring Brick, I would have had a perfect one here. Yeah, so Pat ended up with Pressure, Brick by Boring Brick,
Watch that video, folks.
Ain't It Fun, and Emergency. Dan, Decoder, sounds...
Decode.
Yeah, I know, I was making
It's
it sound...
got bad handwriting.
Misery Business, This Is Why, and All We Know. Of course, I won again with Still Into You. For a pessimist, I'm pretty optimistic. That's What You Get, and Hallelujah. You guys hear that live version of Hallelujah where she starts singing that? Yeah, exactly.
Oh, sorry, I ruined it again.
I think she goes into the song. Oh, I love it. Love it. Live from Chicago. Check it out on that album, boys.
All right, so I think it's time for us to pick our beers for the week. Do we want to do a quick recap, real quick, of the beers that we chose? We have the from Cape May Brewing Company. We have the double IPA Coastal Evacuation. From Bricks City Brewing, we've got Mango Jams, and then from Flying Fish Brewing Company, we've got the Fried Ice Cream Stout. Pat, which one was your favorite beer?
Man, this was a tough one. A lot of ins and outs, a lot of what have yous. New information has come to light, man.
Mm.
And for me, I think I'm going to go with Mango Jams. While Cape May Brewing Coastal Evacuation was a good beer, I don't think it lined up with Paramore the way I wanted it to.
Okay.
And while Mango Jams was not a fun beer to drink, I do think it matched up with Paramore better. So, Dan, I'll pass it to you and say Mango Jams.
All right, Pat has gone with Mango Jams. I'm going to go with the beer that I considered the dessert beer. I appreciate Dusty's attempt to... He knew one of the judges loved Coastal Evacuation, knew that he had to pick up the beer for me previously, back when you could only get it in at Cape May Brewing Company's their setup down in Cape May.
You call it a brewery.
Yes, thank you. So I appreciate that you tried to sway the judge that way. It is one of my favorite beers, but I feel like the Fried Ice Cream Stout plays more to Paramore. They're sweet. They're fried. Well, they're not fried, but they're a dessert band for
They're
me.
a little
And
fried.
yes, so I think the Fried Ice Cream Stout best represents Paramore. All right, Dusty, who's your pick?
I'm in the catbird seat once again. Despite what you think, Dan, I wasn't trying to go to that key lime pie, Paul Hollywood Bake Off kind of technique
Oh,
of
I
making.
like the reference.
What a reference.
You know what, guys? This is the first time where I'm a little upset with you guys. How could you not pick Coastal Evacuation? It was directly on target. The brewery, the beer itself, it was the front runner of a terrific brewery
Wrong.
that has a terrific sound,
Wrong.
does its own
Wrong.
thing. It has a really terrific taste. Everyone loves it. Maybe you can't drink it all the time. A little too high ABV. It
Cape
is
May,
the
they're
right
from
beer.
Tennessee. It has nothing to do with the brewery.
Cape May, what are we talking about?
It's not fruity. It's not light. It's not fun.
Why does it have to be fruity? What are we even
The
talking
band's fun. The band's energetic. It's young. This is a
about? Cape May Brewery is a brand new brewery. What are we even talking about? This hasn't been around
a
for a
brand new brewery. It's been
Yeah.
around for at least like 10 years now.
Yeah, I mean, like in terms of breweries, this is no Yingling that's been
It's
around
no Flying
since
Fish.
the
Flying Fish has been around for a while
1700s.
too, I
Yeah.
guess. But
Yeah,
all right,
yeah.
what's your choice? You
Yeah,
can't pick your own beer.
I'm not gonna pick my own beer. I should.
I've been there before.
So I think thinking about who Paramore is, the kind of songs they are, Hayley Williams as like that bright star in the front of that band. I'm gonna have to go with the beer that I think kind of epitomizes like listening to them more than anything else, which is like it is fun. It has a lot of moments, but again, if you try to listen to it for a month straight, you do need to like take a little bit of a break. So I'm gonna go with Fried Ice Cream Stout. It is smooth. It has that sweetness to it. Like I do want to keep on drinking it. It's 10 ABV. I gotta drive home. Might not be able to do it, but I want to. So I'm gonna have to take a little break. Maybe I won't listen to Paramore on the way home. Which would be a nice little treat for me.
There you go.
But it's always a treat when you do, huh?
Oh, I do.
That's
I
right.
do love it.
So Fried Ice Cream Stout from Flying Fish Brewing Company is our winner this week for the our beer choices. It's my turn.
Feel free to tweet at Hayley Williams and let her know.
Yes, and
So-
also Flying Fish.
I think
Brewing
Coastal
Company.
Evacuation would have been the nicest thing for her.
Yeah. So I get to choose the next band,
That's right.
and I'm feeling a little. I'm feeling my oats. I'm going back to my emo roots.
Mm.
Armor for Sleep is going to be our next band.
Can we get Anthony McClellan, T-Bone, as a guest star?
Is that one of his bands?
I think it is.
Wow.
All right, we might have a guest star. We'll see. Pat, take us out, please. Abandoned Beers.
Abandoned Beers!
Abandoned Beers!